Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 12. This is the week that we get to start our last project, so the end of the semester is coming. Please watch all the videos, especially since I won't be in class. You will be having a sub, though. So still go to class, but please watch the videos to learn what I expect from you over these last couple of weeks. So, by our first due date, we are going to have a mixed worksheet. This is going to be a worksheet that's going to show you how these programs can work together. You're going to download the worksheet here. I believe it is an InDesign file. And then you're going to be working in Photoshop and Illustrator to see how all of these programs work together. Now, please notice there are only 5 videos for this particular worksheet, but still plan enough time to go ahead and get the worksheet done as well as the final activity and be able to save this and submit it as a PDF by our first due date. For our final project, it's going to build off of the new ad that we did last week. So you're going to be creating a slide presentation that is going to showcase the new ad that you have created with the analysis that you did in your blog post. And then during the last week of school, we're going to be giving a verbal presentation of this project on VoiceThread. So, your project overview is that you have been asked by your employer to analyze one of their existing ads, use these findings to create an additional ad that would fit into the same campaign, which we have done, and make a slide presentation that would assist you in helping explain your findings. And that's the section that we're working on this week for the draft and then next week for the final. So, the minimum expectations for this project is that you need to pick a professional ad. We have already done this, but make sure that it does meet these requirements. It is BYU Idaho appropriate, it is well designed, has at least one line of text, the company logo needs to be included, and it needs to be vector or raster based. So either in Illustrator or Photoshop, doesn't matter. Then you need to create a new ad. Look for feedback on your new ad today or tomorrow so then you can know if the professional ad and the new ad meet the requirements and if they look enough alike. Otherwise, you'll need to work on those a little bit this week as well as creating your slide presentation. So for the new ad, also needs to be BYU Idaho appropriate. You can create it in either Photoshop or Illustrator. The dimensions of the ad need to be the same, but save it with 150 resolution. It needs to look like it came from the same ad campaign. So the design, the colors, typography, the layout, the message, it all needs to be very similar. And the goal is to make it look so the same, right? So that they both look like they've been done by the company, that I can't tell what the original ad is from the new ad that you created. That's what we're going for. You need to type in your text. We are not going to copy and paste anything from the original ad. If you cannot find the exact font that the company uses, or then find one that is close, right? So if they have a sans serif, then find a sans serif that is about the same weight as the one that they use in that ad and go with that. All of your images and graphics need to be legally obtained, so feel free to read about that like we did in our creative ad project. And then you need to use the company logo in your project as well. Now, for the slide presentation, this is going to be the bulk of what is going to be new for this week. It needs to be BYU Idaho appropriate. You need to have 6 or more consistently designed slides, and you're going to use InDesign to design the slides, and then you're going to pull in the ad from either Photoshop or Illustrator, whichever one you created yours in. So 6 slides that you are going to create in InDesign. You're going to reverse engineer the original ad, so exactly what you did in your blog post. Now, these 3 topics are required. You need to talk about design, color, and typography. Each one needs to have at least one slide. For design, you don't have to discuss all of the design elements. You can choose one that is very prominent in your ad, or do you think that is the most important to your ad, whatever works. Then you need to have 1 or more slide pointing out how your new ad fits into the campaign. The size of your slides are going to be 10 inches by 7.5 inches. You're going to do that when you set up your InDesign document. Keep 1 idea per slide. So we're going to have 1 slide for design, 1 slide for color, and 1 slide for typography. And then you need at least 1 slide to introduce the company and the campaign, and we are going to avoid bullet points. So don't have a list of things like I do right here. You're going to come up with a creative way to present your information that fits your audience and be the type of company that you now work for, right? So if your new ad is for Nike, then you are working for Nike. Then you're going to save this as a multi-page PDF and submit it by our second due date. And you'll be going over more of this in class, but this is just an example or a brief overview. So this is an example slide that a student has done. So here's the opening slide. It's introducing the campaign and the company, and that is one of your required slides. And then they had a transition slide. They talk about the design. Notice how we don't have a list of bullet points and that it is designed well. The slides are designed well. So they talk about design, and then they talk about typography, and then they talk about color. Then we move on to the new ad, and you need to have at least one slide discussing how your new ad fits into the campaign. This one happens to have two. So they talk about 2 slides of consistencies of what they did from the original ad to the new ad. And then they have a final slide where they did their conclusion part of the presentation. So something important to keep in mind is that you are going to be giving a presentation with the actual slides that you've created. So as you're designing your slides, make sure that you keep that in mind to think about how you want to present this information. Your presentation is not very long. It is, I think, 3 to 4 minutes. So keep that in mind. When we say 6 or more, we don't mean that you have time for 15 slides. We just want you to keep it right around the 6 slide mark. You are going to have to turn in part 1 of the project report with your draft. So when we talk about your audience, and if you go back to the project overview, you've been asked by your employer to analyze one of their existing ads. So we are going to be presenting this to our employer. So keep that in mind when you're telling me about your audience here. Then you'll tell me about your message. For your sketches, for your slide design, you need 3 variations of at least 6 slides, which is 18 sketches total. So I would come up with 3 different themes or ideas that you want to do and go through your 6 slides and design, and then those will be your 18 sketches. You can also do categories of slides, like this is going to be an opening slide, these are transition slides, and this is content slides. And you can draw 6 of each of those, or however you want to do it. But we need at least 18 sketches. Your slides are going to be completed in InDesign. For your typography, make sure you tell me the name, the category. You can have up to 2. Color scheme, I need a screenshot of your color swatches as well as a brief color strategy here of what you want to do. Draft attribution, go ahead and put in your new ad information here. You can copy and paste it from the legally obtained resource report that you did when you turn in your new ad, but keep the new ad information here, and then any other visuals that you may use in the project, maybe the logo or something like that. And then you're going to post your draft in VoiceThread. And then you'll save this and submit it as a PDF by our second due date. As always, if you have questions, please send me an email. I will be in my online office on Wednesday, so if you want to meet up and talk about your project or any questions that you have, send me an email and I'll send you a link to my office, and then we can talk online just like we would in my regular office. Hope you guys have a really good week, and as always, if you have questions, just let me know.